Hello viewers and welcome back to my podcast Location Nexus, where we pick one location in MMR. We talk about infrastructure there, how the prices have moved up, new launches, and we talk about it purely from an home buyer's perspective. If you haven't seen the first episode, then you should, because it was about Thane. And today we have chosen the Sion-Wadala region and we're going to talk about that. And to make it more interesting and spicy, we have two wonderful guests on this show and absolutely budding, young, second generation developers. Two of my clients, bolna banta hai, I like saying it, is Samyak Jain from Siddha Group and Chintan Sheth from Sheth Realty. So gentlemen, welcome to my show.
Thank you.
So जैसे मैंने कहा, Location Nexus is about location and we all know, बचपन से हम यही सुन रहे हैं कि real estate is all about location, location and location. So let me begin. Bombay city sells about 70 to 75,000 crores of new homes every year. उसमें से eastern suburbs is about 30% market share. So about 20,000 crores. उसमें से the Sion-Wadala does about 30% market share. So in Bombay terms, it's about 10%. So it cannot be ignored in any circumstances. So about 7 to 8,000 crores every year. If I ask you why Sion-Wadala is occupying 10% market share of all housing sales in Bombay, and why would you as a developer want to launch there?
So I'll start with introducing Siddha. So Siddha is a 40-year-old company now, and we started in 1986 in Jaipur. Then we did projects in Calcutta, and in 2016 I moved to Bombay, and then we started in Bombay. Siddha is a very focused residential developer. So if you see our projects, we only do residential housing, and we don't do IT parks, we don't do commercial. We believe Wadala is a very underdeveloped region, and there's a lot of potential in Wadala. Infrastructure-wise, there are a lot of new things coming up around Wadala. Wadala has monorail. It is very close to BKC, about 10 minutes from BKC, 20 minutes to South Bombay. Eastern Freeway, Eastern Expressway is very close to this region. There's strong demand in Wadala Sion. So I think Wadala is a good region, good area to be in.
Super. Chintan, ऐसी क्या खास बात है? मैं तो 4 साल वहाँ पढ़ाई की है मैंने at Vasantdada. 4 years I went there. But what has changed? What should the home buyer know?
So being a homegrown boy and Mumbai specific real estate developer for a long time, a second generation developer now. So Sheth obviously is a brand known across Mumbai and Thane. We've delivered more than 25,000 homes over a 3-decade period. And we are in the pipeline to deliver around 5,000 more. Why Sion? Why Wadala? Actually, my question should be why not? Because if you look at all the macroeconomics, sort of pointers or parameters, if you see, Sion-Wadala belt is absolutely ripe for the taking, because this is a belt which has got excellent connectivity. There's a lot of focus in terms of infra development, whether it is the New Bombay Airport, the MTHL, the expressway, the Eastern Freeway, the metro, or as Samyak said, in the monorail. All of these add up. And these are obviously developments that have taken over a 10, 12 year or 15-year period. But as they come in place and as they become mainstream facilities, amenities, you start seeing a huge change, which is already happening. Because Sion, as it was called Shiv earlier, I think, basically times of the British era, it was the boundary of old Mumbai. And from after Sion was all the suburbs started. And it was like sort of, in old sober terms, it was end of the city. Old Sion still consists of, old government colonies and middle class or lower middle class families who lived in Sion since a long time. But now Sion is not the end of the city anymore. Sion is pretty much the center of the city in so many ways, either geographically and in terms of infrastructure and connectivity is absolutely bang in the middle. But the new generation that is now looking at the Sion-Wadala belt as their home, obviously the young professionals, the double income, single child, double child kind of families that are moving in who either work in BKC or Lower Parel or maybe sometimes in Fort as well. And that has also obviously attracted developers also to come to this belt and bring about these new developments. They see this belt as an ideal sort of balance between urban and suburban, because you've got these vast expanses of land, open grounds like Samyak grounds, the old areas of Sion-Matunga. If you go to the Five Gardens area, very nice, very suburban, very perfect environment for you to raise your children. At the same time, the pricing is perfect.
Yeah.
Sion-Wadala belt is still at a lower end. Unlike Parel or Worli, which has gone into the stratosphere now today, and it's become an aspirational sort of a location address for the ultra HNIs. This belt is still balancing old world and new world along with the right price point.
We'll come to that in a minute, but I live in Santa Cruz, right?
Right.
And if I had to go to college, which is at Sion even now, I had to go all the world around. Bandra, Dharavi, Gomke, I had to reach there. Now I can reach there with that one flyover next to WeWork's office in 5 minutes. So from your project, if I'm not mistaken, you can reach WeWork in
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
You could jog in 5 minutes.
On a bad day, when it's too rainy, I can even walk to my workplace.
You do. That's what I'm saying. You could jog in 5 minutes.
Now we know that BKC to 1 lakh tak pahunch gaya hai. If I can say that. तो 5 minute jogging दूर आप बोल रहे हो pricing is affordable. May I know what?
I'll just give you a little bit of a sort of a segment. Say all your Worlis and Parels are all 40 upwards.
Yes.
40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 100, whatever.
Yes.
This belt is still, if you see the average, is still between 28 to 35. It's a very sweet spot in Mumbai. 28, 27, that pricing is there in Borivali West also. The pricing is there in Mulund also. But where are you located? Look how much time you save on a daily basis. And the community is still nice. It's still a cosmopolitan community. It's not predominantly one or the other community that happens in certain, micro markets of Mumbai. And it's harder for outsiders to come. So you see most of the outsiders who come from other cities or other parts of India and migrate here. They either want to go to Bandra because it's cosmopolitan, it's very accepting, or you want to go to Powai. I believe Sion has got the potential to definitely surpass Powai because of its strategic location and the access to everything around.
Yeah.
Just to add to what Chintan is saying, I think two more very important factors. As he said, the pricing is still very affordable.
Nice, huh?
Very affordable. And to give a reference, for example, the project that we did in Kandivali,
Yes.
Siddha Seabrook, the price that we fetched at Kandivali, we are selling at the same price in Wadala. And Wadala being so close to everything, to Fort, to BKC, to Bandra, to different parts of the Bombay.
Yeah.
It's still so central and so convenient, and still we are selling at the same price. So price is one aspect, and second is that I believe in last 5-10 years, Wadala Sion region hasn't seen any good development, good projects.
Completely agree. Because I love data. I'm a data guy. And I know that you both are clients of mine, so you love data as well. So for the home buyer's perspective, because we always want them to be on our mind, give me 2 reasons why I should buy a house in your project.
So first thing, we are making about 1,500 plus flats in our project. And why a person should buy in Siddha Sky? Probably because the sizing is right, the ticket size is right. And apart from the size, amenities that we are giving in the project, for example, the skywalk. The skywalk is a beautiful feature. And I'm sure once we hand over the skywalk to our residents, I'm sure the residents will love spending time on the skywalk. Apart from the skywalk, we have a lot of space on the podium level, on the ground floor level. So I think, yes, it's a good project to buy in.
So I have personally visited your site twice, pre-COVID and then post. Post-COVID, so the whole thing has completely changed. The whole experience center, from the model to the sample apartments to the whole AV room, everything is such a good experience. So the experience is right from there till the delivery. Correct? But Chintan, what about your project?
Just for the audience,
Yeah.
the location is absolutely on the nose, if you want to call it, of the Sion BKC connector.
Correct.
Just when you land, it's on the left hand side. And it's about a 2-acre land parcel. And we are making about 380 units, all 22, 23-story towers. Completion time is about 2.5-3 years from now. So it's not a standalone building, which you see most cases happening in the old Sion-Matunga belt. And it's not a very large project which has like a 10-year horizon. So it's right in that sweet spot. It's self-sufficient in the sense that it provides you with all the different amenities. We have 40-45 plus amenities to cater to all the different age groups, whether it's children or parents, the senior citizens. We've got everything. Apart from that, to create this whole gated community feel, we also have stuff like a banquet hall, party lawns, we play areas for the kids. We've got a pet park. We've got a multi-purpose play court. So all sorts of stuff. Just like in the case of Samyak's project in Siddha Sky, we also have a very large 7 towers connected through one single terrace. It's about 25,000 square feet of terrace. The beauty of this terrace is not just another terrace. around my project, if you come to our experience center, and I invite you officially to come, and you'll see the audio visual, and you'll realize that around me about 270 degrees of open air sort of field, which is a rarity in a city like Mumbai, where towers are coming up left, right and center in all directions.
Yeah.
There's the Eastern Expressway, the highway, the entire belt. Then the opposite side, the KJ Somaya ground, then the hospital, very large, 50-70 acre of open lung. And on my right hand side is a central government India land, which is again lying here. There's some institute, which is a ground plus 2 building. So this is an additional, what do you call, the USP of the project in terms of the amenities that we provide. And the reason for providing these amenities, the thought process behind this is that the fact that our location is so central, you'll save time, right? Like you said in BKC, say, ghar aa gaye, you can call up a wife and she's warming the food and we'll reach home. That's what I tell. And give or take a few minutes here or there. So once you have that time, what are you going to do? You cannot now get ready again, go out somewhere else. You would want to have all those amenities, those avenues to explore yourself, your family, time with your young ones there. Which is why we have tried to give a whole sort of a 360-degree kind of an experience in terms of the different avenues in which you can explore your time.
I've been to his project. The view is actually very nice.
Thank you.
So you can actually make out, because both of you understand real estate and are developers, so आपको तो वो अभी से देख सकते हो ना आपकी spatially कैसे दिखेगा. And homebuyer might not have that kind of an eye. Right. But coming back to pricing for a minute, and more than pricing, the sizing, right? Because आजकल वो बहुत जरूरी है. You need to get the sizing and the pricing right. So Samyak, again, if I might begin with you, how did you determine कि यही साइज के घर, ये साइज के बिकने चाहिए, ये साइज के बनाने चाहिए और यही प्राइस होना चाहिए, so that my project can sell better, faster than maybe some competition, क्योंकि the competition तो बहुत है. There's a lot of redevelopment happening.
I don't think so. The competition is a lot. There are few projects, but yes, healthy competition, I would go.
Sure.
Not very oversupplied.
Absolutely, I agree.
Sizing, so Abhishek, I think when we started designing the product, we researched. We researched using your platform, and we did dipstick. We spoke to probable customers in that region, spoke to channel partners, and then we sort of gauged where the gap is.
So what is that size? Are they all 2 beds? Are they all 2.5?
So we have 2 and 3 BHKs. 2 BHK would be approximately about 650 square feet RERA carpet, and 3 bedroom would be about 950, which is a sweet ticket size. Because it's a very price-sensitive market, so we designed the flats in a way that each space is usable. There is no wastage of space, both in 2 bed and 3 bed. So yeah, that's.
And then what's that ticket size? Because that's the important thing, right? So the sweet spot of Mumbai we know is 1.5 to 2.5 crores.
So 2 bed would be about 1.85, 1.9 CR, and 3 bed would be about 2.25 CR.
So you're right in that exact sweet spot. And Chintan, I'm assuming same for you?
Very similar.
Similar?
But our challenges were slightly different. What we perceived was initially we also did our R&D, and what we found out that the demand that has come to Sion-Wadala belt for 2 and 3 bedrooms has actually gone up by 25-30% as per studies. And I think something that you guys have also backed in terms of your data. So we thought 2 and 3 obviously had to be the way, but we wanted to balance luxury and affordability, because I cannot come to market saying, it's luxury apartments. Obviously, we cannot come to market saying that these are, affordable housing. You have to give it both elements. Like the affordability part is very important. So there comes the sizing. But second point that we also realized post-COVID is that giving open spaces within the house, especially balconies, was a must. So that is something we've done. All our units have balconies. Whether it's a 2-bedroom or whether it's a 3-bedroom or the large 3-bedroom, the entire range, we have about 8-9 different configurations, going from 650 to about 1150 to 1200 square feet. And the second thing they have is a dry balcony for the kitchen, for the drying and stuff. One is functional and one is a lifestyle sort of a quotient thing. So both things we made sure that is there in all the units.
Going back to data, क्योंकि मेरे podcast में data की बात नहीं करें तो फिर मजा नहीं आएगा. And the reason I'm bringing this topic up is because Indians have made a lot of wealth in real estate, right?
Very true.
Now, if you go back to what your parents did, whether it's a Thane, whether it's a Bombay, whatever it is, बहुत wealth बनी है real estate में. So we pulled out information for the last 6 years. My question, and this is sort of a spot quiz question for both of you, 7 to 8% sounds like inflationary increase. What's going to happen in the next 5 years when you start delivering keys or hand over keys to your home buyers? Should I feel happy कि मैं घर तो मुझे मिल दोगे आप, अच्छा घर भी दोगे, but कुछ पैसे भी बनेंगे कि नहीं? Will I create wealth in that project?
If I may start, Abhishek,
Please.
I cannot say where the prices will go, how much the price will increase.
वो मेरा काम है क्या?
Nee, it's for the people to gauge what the prices will be. But what I can foresee is that since this, as I said, this micro market, Wadala Sion, it has been underdeveloped. There has not been a lot of projects or development in this area, and the prices still are very competitive compared to the other regions around this area, whether it is Mahim, Matunga, Dadar, and the infrastructure that is coming up around this area is huge. For example, BKC is 10 minutes, as I said. Connectivity to Fort is superb. Then Thane, Navi Mumbai. Because of all of this infrastructure, I'm assuming that prices will increase. I can't say a number where it will reach.
तो जैसे वो wealth managers बोलते हैं ना कि my mutual fund will do better than Nifty. So you're saying कि my project and my location will do better than what Bombay overall will do, because this is still underrated right now, and there's more potential here compared to the so-called developed western suburbs. Can I say that?
Absolutely.
Abhishek, let me add to this. Samyak's being a little like shy about giving out numbers, and I'm very gung-ho and I'm backing this area. In fact, we have a conversation outside before starting that eastern suburbs is the way to go.
Yes.
And in all honesty, the 7-8% is the average price of the entire area.
Yes.
If you look at micro markets, the preferred locations as like in for example in their project itself, I don't think it's 7-8%. The increase is way more. And in better micro markets, in good locations, the average increase is more than 10. According to me, it's more than 10% year on year for the last 4 years at least. So, and I feel this is going to keep growing because, like I said, the developments are just happening. By the time it comes up, it will attract a gentry which will demand a lot of other things, amenities, schools, colleges, entertainment, all that stuff. Some of it that already Sion-Wadala belt already has. It has a huge number of colleges. Like I think you went yourself to a college here.
Yeah.
It has schools, but I think more stuff will keep coming here. And this sort of a microcosm that is going to develop here is going to pull up pricing, conservatively about 20-25%.
So, on this point, I want to share a story. There's a good friend of mine who's moved in from Delhi.
Yeah.
Probably stayed in Delhi for 20 years. And his job is at BKC.
Correct.
I was his go-to guy for 2 reasons. One, I'm Bombay person plus real estate person. Right? तो बोला अभी तू बता मैं को कहाँ बच्चों को स्कूल भेजूँ कहाँ रहूँ, because I'm at BKC.
Correct.
So he had 2 choices, and this is where it gets interesting. One was Powai.
Correct.
Because that's with good schools, it's great location, Mr. Niranjan Mai has made it, so people love Powai.
Absolutely.
And second was Sion. So the reason why Sion ranked high in his mind, now I'm talking about his mind, Delhi se aaya hai banda, one because of the schools, not that I'm saying Powai mein schools अच्छे नहीं हैं, but also because it was just a hop, skip and jump for him to reach BKC. तो बच्चे भी खुश, they don't have to travel too much, वो खुद भी खुश, he doesn't have to kill himself. So it just seemed...
I think by the end of this podcast, हम बोल के थक जाएंगे. Connectivity वाला तो point is outstanding.
But even from an outsider, he could see it.
An unbiased, uncolored sort of opinion.
And he's an Excel guy, right? उसे पूरा Excel बनाया था, सब स्कूल के कितने पैसे लगेंगे, IB का कितना, ये कितना, the whole shebang he did.
Achha, excellent.
And don't forget, even the pricing in the end. See, he's living on rent. Obviously, he's not bought a house. But the rental difference also mattered, a Sion versus a Powai, right?
Abhishek, to add to it, 2 things. One, I can say for sure that my project, I'm sure about Chintan's project as well, but my project, I can see people are wanting to move from South Bombay. They are thinking of shifting to our locality from Thane, from Navi Mumbai. So I see buyers coming from these region. That is one. And second, when I moved to Bombay 6-7 years back, I hardly knew people who wanted to come to Sion-Wadala. But now I know of people coming from outside Bombay and they are staying in Sion-Wadala in different projects around Sion-Wadala. So I think the acceptability of this micro market has definitely increased and people are open to move into this locality.
I'm really amazed to hear this. The whole Excel sheet part, it's a big validation, right? In terms of the rental, the commute time, the school cost, the school options, phenomenal. Everything. But to add to that, actually rentals in Sion belt have also been going up. So in from an investor's point of view, the yields have gone up. The pricing is also obviously picking up slowly, but the rental yields have shot up dramatically over the last few years.
अब आप इतने घर लॉन्च करोगे, सबको
हाँ,
ट्रेंड पे शिफ्ट होना
हाँ, तो
पड़ेगा.
वो एक ट्रेंड हो ही गया.
So वो तो पूरे बॉम्बे में हो ही रहा है, but more so over here because there's so many new
So many homes.
and I think, and I say this with reasonable responsibility and confidence, that new money does not want to chase old construction. Right? A Sobo might have the sea view, the Arabian view, whatever view, but those houses are 50, 70 years old. They don't have this sky deck. They don't have these dry balconies or the big balconies. तो एक amenities तो आजकल सबको चाहिए ही ना. I was born in Sobo, तो मैं तो उसकी कभी गाली दूंगा ही नहीं उसको. I love Sobo, but this is what is not available there at all.
Right.
What are the opportunities and challenges do you see in real estate? But let's only focus on Mumbai.
Opportunities in real estate, Mumbai, I think sky's the limit, honestly. Why I say this, I'll give you a little bit of backstory. So Mumbai traditionally has not got the kind of attention that it should have got as the financial hub of this country. And the kind of attention I'm talking about is from the governments, from the center, from the state, in terms of investment in infra, in development of the fundamentals of this city. That has not happened. But that has changed. In the last decade, if you see, the kind of work, the kind of investment that has happened in developing the infra or the basic backbone of the city is phenomenal. I mean, if I had to give you a number, the investment is upward of $30 billion, which is equal to like 30 years worth of work done in a decade. So obviously Mumbai is going through a huge flux, almost, for lack of a better word, metamorphosis of sorts, where all the dynamics that you know today might not be there in 5-7 years' time, especially considering the coastal road, the metro network, the phenomenal metro network. It's 4 or 5 times the size of the normal railway that we have currently. So how it's going to shape the city, only time will tell. We can only try and sort of foretell what's going to happen. So Mumbai is going through a very different phase. What comes out will be, I personally feel, a beautiful butterfly for the real estate fraternity here. And that is where the opportunity lies. To pick any spot where the infra is good and to own that spot. How do you own the spot is through focusing on high quality, customer-oriented development within very set execution timeframes. If you are able to do these two things, I think everything else will follow.
So Chintan, if I might rephrase what you said, आप ये बोलना चाह रहे हो कि we should not debate on the topic of dearth of demand for housing in Mumbai city.
Absolutely.
We just have to get the pricing right, the sizing right, the amenities right, and then and just reach with the right communication to your home buyer, तो वो आपके पास आके घर खरीदेंगे.
Exactly.
Which is a great opportunity.
And then follow that up with a timely delivery of that.
वो बहुत जरूरी है.
Of course.
Right? एक हिंदुस्तानी जिंदगी में एक घर खरीदता है, he wants to get it right and get the right time.
Abhishek ji, ऐसा है ना कि Mumbai, unfortunately, and I'm from the fraternity and I say this, is that the home buyer was not treated as the king. Like, what the famous dialogue is, customer is king. वो king वाला treatment उसको नहीं मिल रहा.
अब मिल रहा है.
मिलेगा. मुझे ऐसा लगता है. हुआ क्या है, पिछले 15 मतलब पहले तो घर बन गया ना, 2 साल डिले, अरे कोई नहीं, घर मिल गया बॉस, खत्म कर, आगे बढ़. Was the हिसाब. अभी क्या है, घर तो मिलने वाला है, because of the RERA, because of the with the massive consolidation that has happened in the Mumbai real estate market. Now all the developers who are working here mean business. सबको काम करना है, किसी को जाके बैठ नहीं जाना है, किसी को ओवर ट्रेडिंग नहीं करनी, leveraging नहीं करनी. So yes, the customer is now able to call shots between property A, property B, property C, because this is a customer-friendly environment that is getting created.
And Samyak, if you might allow me to still call you an outsider, I know you hate me for saying this.
No problem.
Obviously, यहाँ पे आपने opportunity देखी तो आप यहाँ पे आए. So I want to hear it from you. Wow, how does Bombay real estate treating you, and what's the opportunity here?
As Abhishek, as Chintan said, opportunity is huge. There is strong demand. It's not a mirage, that the demand is real. Availability of resources, funds, materials, choice of material is ample now. So that's the opportunity. But on the challenge side, I would say is being relevant to the buyer, relevant to all stakeholders, whether it's your suppliers, whether it's your channel partners, your buyers. That's the challenge. You have to be relevant in whatever you are doing, because the buyer now has a lot of options. They have many projects to choose from. So it is important that whatever you are making, whether the product, the size, the amenities, should be relevant. There are only two sort of communications. One is luxury, one is these many amenities, 40, 50, 60, 70. So the amenities or whatever you're offering should be relevant to all the stakeholders.
Just want to add one more thing from a challenge point of view is that going forward, considering the kind of developments that are already happening in Mumbai, the redevelopment has really taken shape. Last 2-3 saal mein, I think redevelopment has really caught fire.
Yeah.
Absolutely right. So what is another challenge I foresee as a developer is that there is a lack of seriously good talent for the execution part. Whether it is contractors, whether it is professional staff, बहुत मुश्किल हो गया. So you will dream and you will promise and you want to deliver. But you should have those guys to help you through that phase. Say if you go to Dubai or if you go to any other market where the development has picked up dramatically, the talent pool has also been drawn from around the world to execute that vision. So यहाँ पे I think Mumbai still needs to address.
Okay, so since you both spoke about opportunities and challenges, let me come to one of my favorite questions. And when I introduced both of you, I said you guys are second generation developers. ऐसी क्या चीज़ है जो आप कर रहे हो which your parents did not do?
I think to simply answer your question, one could be focusing on product. I think the previous generation, there was no need to focus on the product.
You mean they went with their gut and hypothesis more than, what do you mean by that? Tell me more about this.
What I mean is that you have to be sure that what kind of product will work. You have to research what the
Give it
is.
more time. Spend more time on the drawing table.
Yes, that is one. Second is spending time to acquire customers. So these are two areas which I think the second generation is focusing on, apart from everything else.
So this is the music to my ears. If you're spending more time on the drawing table, you need more data. And if you're spending more time to make what he said, make the customer feel like the king, again you need more data.
So I will add two aspects here. I agree with both of Samyak's points that these are definitely things that we are doing differently. The way we market has changed, definitely. From the newspaper, it has now become the mobile screen primarily, and the mobile screen is way more dynamic. Apart from that, what I want to add is the customer experience. Like nurturing the customer journey, has become very important today, which I don't think my father's generation even paid like 5% attention. Today it is becoming 25% of my time, where not just from lead generation, but from the day the guy sees my ad till the day he gets his key, and that is just I think 70%. 25% later is that I have to keep in touch with him even post that, and I have to ensure that my product and my experience lives up to what I promised him, so that he creates that word of mouth for me in the market, and that translates into my brand. So today brand is a big play in real estate in Mumbai. Brands do very well, non-brands don't do as well. They sell, they don't get the premiums, they don't get the velocity, they don't get all the other things. So your brand plays very, very huge in Mumbai.
And which is why both of you in both of your projects have this amazing model, the best sample apartments, the best AV rooms, the best reception, the best tea, the best coffee.
Absolutely. And not just that, the best customer experience team behind, who's driven by some very senior people in my company who are constantly on the job to make sure that the customer is always satisfied. You can't 100% satisfy everyone, but you're as close as that number as possible.
But that's very important. Absolutely, I agree with Chintan.
And especially if you're doing a project, of course your project might complete in 3 years, your project might go on for 7 years, and जो आगे projects आएंगे शायद hopefully बड़े होंगे, क्योंकि I've always been a big advocate of large 25-30 acre projects, which is like a mixed use, right? The longer your project is, you have to live through that whole life cycle, because जब तक आपका पहला unit deliver होगा, तब तक आप फिर भी बेच ही रहोगे आगे project, right? So that word of mouth
very critical.
is supremely critical for you now, more than ever before, right? Okay, now let's have some fun. I'm going to ask you 3 questions, but this is going to be like the Karan Johar rapid fire. So you cannot do ums and ahs and tums. जो भी मन में आए, answer.
और है gift hamper है कि नहीं? Hamper discount देवे. CRE Matrix next year एक साल free.
Yeah, substitute discount मिल सकता है. So you have to brace yourself. Who wants to begin first? We'll start with the Bombay guy first,
Sure.
right? Because we're sitting in Bombay. So Chintan, 3 questions. You're going to answer them fast. You can't think and prepare an answer. So सबसे पहला, which project, and this can be in India, inspired you as a budding entrepreneur or a budding real estate developer when you started off?
Can I name 2?
चलो ठीक है, we'll allow you 2.
Right. So one is the destination that has been developed, which is Powai. Phenomenal kind of work. I have not seen that being replicated anywhere in India at the scale that it has happened. Two, the Garden City, Oberoi Garden City in Goregaon has taken luxury living to another level, which probably people before did not have the vision to develop. So two for me.
I love both of them, by the way. Completely second that. Second, चलो we spoke about Sion. Awesome. But ऐसी कौन सी नई location है जिस पे आपकी नज़र टिकी हुई है where home buyers can follow you and expect a equally gorgeous project from the Sheth group?
So central suburbs, I'm very gungo. Anywhere this entire belt, there is a lot of development to be had. So I will not say a specific suburb, but on the western side, I feel Borivali Daisar, that belt Daisar especially, has always been like the younger brother, the second stepson, which I feel has the potential with the coastal road and metro stuff to really do wonders because there are certain large parcels available there.
So we can expect Sheth Group to continue its focus on eastern suburbs. Is that what you're trying to say?
Like always, as always.
So Chintan, CPs तो अपना काम करेंगे and we know they do a good job, right? But you as a developer, what are you doing to attract that customer from a marketing perspective? Again, that king feeling. आप कैसे अपना communication narrative उनके सामने लेके जा रहे हो?
So there is a lot of indirect marketing that we're doing now. Is basically to create an appeal for the brand, a familiarity for the brand, so that the customer buys into not just the product but the brand itself. So that is through the 360 sort of approach. It's through social media, through events at site, through different kinds of engagement, which are not purely sales-oriented engagements. That is a big change that has come in the last few years for us.
Yes, Mr. The same three questions for you. Very quickly. Number one, what is that project which inspired you as a teenager before you actually dirtied your shoes with real estate?
So I don't have a name, but I can definitely say that lately I have a lot of interest in spending time in developing the product, and spending more time in making the product relevant, as I said before. So I don't have a project in mind, but then that is one. That's my answer to the first question.
Okay. So the second one was, which locality are you eyeing where the home buyer can look forward to Siddha Group launching a big, nice project?
I'm really excited for Navi Mumbai. I think Navi Mumbai should do well in the coming future.
Super. And the last, what are you doing different to make your narrative relevant for the home buyer?
Now I think we have a lot of data available, so we can sharpshoot basically. We can target well now. So a lot of data is available that we can study and decide how we want to target or who we want to target.
So it's like the Americans, instead of doing carpet bombing, do target bombing.
Right.
I actually make sure that the narrative reaches the right audience.
Yes, I think that makes more sense to me.
Thank you very, very much, both of you. I wish you all the very best for successful launch, successful sales. जैसे मैं पहले भी कहता हूँ, अपने सब डेवलपर्स को यही कहता हूँ, please make more homes, but make it for the home buyer, for the Indians, right? Not for yourself.
Thank you so much, Abhishek.
Abhishek, thank you so much.
So, it was a great pleasure. Until next time, when we pick the next location, whether we pick Navi Mumbai, whether we pick eastern suburbs, pata nahi. We don't know. But hang in there for the next episode.